if you will simply go to YouTube or Google, you don't even have to buy the DVD. But in a way, by me giving it out free, it's like pearls before swine. You don't even appreciate it. That somebody make over $100,000 film and give it to you for free. But how would I do anything other than give it to you for free? I make these films to reach people and to warn people. I would hope you'd respect yourself enough to watch it in a high-quality DVD and try to support people that made it, but I don't care in the final equation. We're able to fund our operation. That's what matters. But I would beg you, if you've got any soul left, any discernment left, any spark of humanity and decency left in that fog of, in that poisoned brain, to go watch Endgame and then go to whatistheendgame.com or endgamethemovie.com. Both those addresses will take you to the same URL, the same site. And to go to whatistheendgame.com and to look at that bibliography. Because when you watch the film and you see 20 minutes of that 2-hour, 44-minute film, the 20 minutes near the end is just where I list in rapid fire, showing you AP, BBC, Department of Energy, Pentagon admissions of where thousands of times they've taken our soldiers and British soldiers and Australian soldiers, and the Russians are the same, they did it, and marched them into containment facilities and murdered them with nerve gas. Now, I want to explain something to you. When you got a government that thousands of times has murdered our troops just to see if the Army and Pentagon medical officers would carry out the murders, that's what it was really about. They knew what the nerve gas did to mammals. If you don't know the people running the system are completely evil and completely murderous, how do you serve them? How do you make excuses for the system? How do you say the police state and the naked body scanners in the airports and the checkpoints and the license plate reading cameras and the smart thermostats on houses in California and Texas tracking everything you're doing in live time? How do you fools sit there and say, oh, we're the government, we're good, when the people running the government murder you? How? How do you not immediately join us in speaking out and standing up? How in the hell do you trust the government and sit there and take their stinking vaccines? How in the world? What is your problem? There are thousands and thousands and thousands of declassified examples of where they would take healthy foster children up until the 1980s, the last time this was declassified, because they only declassify every 25 years. And they take little 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-old sweet little children, and men in white lab coats march them in and throw a switch and shoot radiation through their bodies at different levels. Some dying on the table, strapped down. Some dying a week later, a month later, their hair falling out, their teeth falling out, blood pouring out of their mouths. And it's the elite's religion. I jog on the treadmill about 45 minutes every morning. And I'm watching a Mark Wahlberg film titled The Happening. And I actually know a producer who knows Wahlberg, and before Shooter even came out, said it was a film about false flag terror and I should see it, and that Mark Wahlberg was a fan of this show. So I'm not attacking Marky Mark, never really tried to reach out to him. The point is I don't think he even understands what he's part of in this film, The Happening, where the plants release a toxin to kill the evil humans in the Northeast and kill tens of millions of people. And watching the film the last 2 mornings, I haven't finished it, I got a few minutes left, while I jog on the treadmill. In different scenes, they have billboards, one where they're leaving a model home community, and it says model home, 1,600 and something homes, this is what you deserve, while in the background, over the shoulder of the billboard, People are committing suicide. That's what the toxin the plants release in mass does. And one guy, as this is happening, is laying down in front of a giant riding lawnmower. He turns it on and then lays down in front of it. As his body's being cut up, they cut to the billboard saying, "This is what you deserve." And the whole film is saying we must exterminate all of humanity. Humanity deserves to die. And an hour and a half into the film, I already had seen that message, seen it on other billboards in the background, and then there it was saying, "You deserve to be killed." And I'm going to explain something to you. This is in almost every major movie I see now. This is everywhere. And they are going to have controlled bioweapons releases that are low level just to train you to go under quarantine and control. And once they've got you trained, they are going to release a bioweapon that is going to kill almost everybody. Now I want to explain something to you. This is guaranteed. And I keep saying we're 10, 15 years away. The way things are going currently, they could do this within 5 to 6 years unless we expose them. I'm telling you right now, most people listening to my voice right now are going to be killed by the eugenicist within the next decade. We are all dead unless we get the word out. I'm going to tell you, there's no doubting it. There's no debating it. And you fools argue with me that the government wouldn't stage 9/11 when they admittedly in one program radiated over 4,300 children to death. They will radiate babies to death. You better believe they'll kill you. All right, we're back live. I called him Mark Warburg. It's Mark Wahlberg, and the film The Happening, where the environment gets mad at humans. The trees create a toxin and start causing everybody to kill themselves. And they've got Discovery Channel shows about the end of the world and about civilization collapsing, and just scores of television programs coming out right now, preconditioning everyone with predictive programming to psychologically accept this when it happens. And all these big biology chiefs and government officials writing books and publications about how they can't wait for at least 90% of the earth to be killed. This is a final revolution of the scientific dictatorship to remake the world in their image, to play God. And they write hundreds of textbooks and white papers that we list here every day about how they're going to do it. They want a planetary world government to carry out the forced extermination incrementally. There is no doubt. And I just can't believe that they've got the general public fighting with each other over black and white and Hispanic and Asian and Christian, Muslim, and they've got us fighting with each other over all of this while they build their scientific dictatorship around us. Now, I'm going to talk more about the scientific control grid and some of the basics of it when we come back in the next segment. But we also were sent scores. We're reading over them, calling the numbers on the documents, collating them. We've confirmed several of the documents. This is breaking, extremely important news. Obama is all over TV saying no one will be forced to take the vaccine, but they're making in many cities and counties, police, federal officers, medical workers, daycare workers, they're saying, take the shot or you're fired. It's the local health department policy. So government is ordering this, and large mega corporations in health, in the disease factories, are pushing this. It is confirmed up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Home healthcare workers in New York required to get vaccinated. We have the policy document saying you'll be fired if you don't. Okay, here's another one. Daycare workers told she'll be fired for refusing mandatory flu shot, the regular flu shot. They're setting the precedent to force everybody. And then they're talking about making the public take it, the new H1N1, next week. We'll talk to Dr. Horowitz about the health effects of this vaccine and others. We've got Dr. Stan Monteith coming up this week, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny coming up this week, Dr. Ron Paul coming up Thursday. By the way, I just remembered Dew is handling that guest, and he's going to be gone now in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the G20, where they have 2,000 troops on the ground. So take that over from him, please, Jaron, and nail that down. Double check that he's on Thursday, because they can get not flaky, but a bit, they always change the date when he's in Congress, or change the hour he's on. So let's double check that today on Ron Paul for Thursday. Separately, the Christian Science Monitor and WorldNet Daily and others are picking up on a story we've been writing about for years. I'm glad they are. We were sent, when we first moved into this office a year ago, the fact that they're coming around without even asking, and they now added it on the side of the building, the smart thermostat. And through its algorithms, you can go to the websites of the big consortium that runs all of this. It's the smart meter. You can go to the smart meter website, the big consortium running it, and they admit that it has an algorithm. It knows what a toaster does. It knows what a microwave pulls. It knows what washing machines pull. It learns the cycles in your home, what you do. That information is given to police. If they gauge that you're using too much power in your house for who supposedly lives there, they SWAT team you, claiming it's probable cause for growing marijuana. That happens here in Austin.